Welcome, everyone. My name is Danny Ross, and I'm going to be your host tonight for this version of the AI App in 1 Hour class. Now, we have been stepping through the Drive AI framework and kind of building upon that. The other thing that we've been doing is the introduction to the update of the Create super prompting framework. I just want to take a quick poll. Is there anyone who has already seen the Create X version of our prompting framework? Put a one in the chat. Also, if this is your very first time with us, put a two in the chat. I'm just trying to make sure I get an understanding of who's on the call. Make sure you can hear me properly. Hi. Oh, hey, Vanessa, welcome. I appreciate you jumping on. And so, like I said, this purpose of this is to we have a couple of different goals when we do these calls. One is to introduce concepts that will help any business or person utilize AI to its most effectiveness. It also helps us with students as far as them knowing where to be, where to start from, things like that. I'm going to kind of step through some simple concepts to give you a little background, and I usually have slides up for this, but I'll just kind of wing it tonight. AI has been around for a long time. This is not necessarily brand new technology. We just used to call it different names. It used to be called machine learning back in the day when you had computers the size of rooms, mainframe computers that calculated and crunched. You basically have more power in your phone or on your watch than they had in that entire room. It's just called managed. So from there, they went to supervised learning methodology. It just meant that the human being was kind of put into the mix. They would input the guidelines and the goals, and then the computers would crunch the numbers and give back reports. Pretty simple. To jump to today, I'm talking about years and years ago. Jump to today, and we have generative AI, things like Chat GPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, I said Gemini, your Siri, soon to hopefully be updated and working with Gemini frameworks to make it even more effective. But the point is, the generative AI are there to answer questions for you. Their job is you put in a prompt, they give you back something. It could be an image, it could be an answer to your question, it could be a business plan. It doesn't matter. The point is you have a conversation back and forth with them, and that's why they call them chatbots. Now, the next step and where we are, and what we'll talk a little bit about later in this whole conversation, is the latest and greatest is agentic AI. This is where you give the AI a goal. Hey, we want to get here. We want to accomplish this. And then the AI basically will start autonomously towards that goal. And part of the update to the create methodology is adding more controls over what this new technology is actually going to do. If you let it loose without any kind of guardrails, it can go anywhere. You want to be able to control that. That's part of the reason why we've been updating the create methodology so that when you speak to the AI, it knows how far it can go on its own. But it's fantastic. I can say to the AI, hey, I need a website that does this, 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 and that, or an AI app I needed to do this, and that, and the app will just go for it. And then if it needs help, it'll ask you questions. That's the difference. Agentic on Gemini, for example, you can ask it to buy something off of Amazon for you. You tell it, hey, go find this item and buy it for me. It's amazing what you can do with agentic technology. We have a platform called BuildBiz.ai. You can set up a conversation. Here's my goal. Here's my list of contacts. I want you to reach out to all of them, schedule appointments for me, deal with their questions through back and forth. So the AI can answer the questions. You just train it on the topic. So it learns that. You can have that back and forth with those people. You don't have to get involved. It takes them down the path towards closing an appointment for you. That's what we mean by agentic. All right. So if anybody has questions as we go along, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. I love this to be interactive. Also, if you have a business and you have a domain name that you'd like me to use during the demo section, we do something we call Magic Show where we have AI help us do things. I love to use real world examples when I do those. If you have a domain name, go ahead and drop it in the chat or URL, or how do people find you on the web? What's your website? www dot whatever. All right, drop it in the chat and I'll use it. Let's go ahead and jump into the presentation and keep going here. Most AI training focuses really on tools and shiny object type things, and that is perfect. I do it as well. I love the latest and greatest, what's the new toy? But what we want to focus on is making sure that we're getting the best results out of AI. That's the whole point of the exercise. Whether you're doing it for yourself, I ask AI probably, I don't know, 20, 30 questions a day. And so I'm always in AI. You don't always have to have super fancy prompts. You can have just a conversation going back and forth with it, especially if you've trained it up and it knows you, or you've created what we call a knowledge base where it has the data. You don't have to repeat yourself. You don't have to explain certain things. You can pick up the conversation from where you last were. Let's go ahead and jump on here. Why most AI training fails. Bad AI output comes from bad prompts, not bad models. In other words, the AI is not guilty. For example, if you say, I want an image of a doctor, and that's what you ask the AI. It's going to give you back what it thinks you're asking for. AI is trying to be very, very helpful. It will always do the best that it can. But unfortunately, if your prompt is that vague, you're probably going to get a white guy with a beard in a doctor's coat. Why? That's the model that it was trained on, and that's what you'll see most often. If you want anything else, you have to be specific, and we'll talk about that as we go through the training. But that's why you won't necessarily get exactly what you're driving towards unless you give it more distinct information. The other framework that is kind of interwoven into today's or tonight's conversation is Drive AI. And I want to spend just a second to talk about the different steps within the Drive AI framework. If you've missed our training, we went through each letter in Drive over the last couple of weeks. If you've missed it, don't worry. There's lots of ways to get caught up. We have a YouTube channel, and in the YouTube channel, we have over 100 videos, so you can go in and check them out. I'll drop the link in the chat. I will also invite you to our AI platform, which is called BuildBiz.ai. And this platform, we have over 60 AI apps in one location. And from there, you can start a free 7-day trial. You'll get 11 books that you can download on day one, so you don't have to pay us anything. You can get a bunch of books on how to use AI in your business or in your professional life. And it's a really fun platform, but what I was getting at in the platform itself, we have tools such as the AI Lunch and Learn. We do this every Tuesday at noon, which continues our training here, and all of the previous videos are here. You can scroll to any video, click on it. You can search for topics in YouTube. If you're in YouTube, you can go here and type in our channel, I mean, you can search for Drive and you'll see the videos that are related to that. All right. So even just this Tuesday, we were talking about Drive AI. It's easy to catch up. Just go and watch a previous video. In the platform, you'll see the Start Here button, great place to be. And then you have a whole bunch of other apps. It kind of works like a phone. You can move the icons around, organize them the way you want them, drop them into folders like I have here, or if you want to add more apps from the App Store, you can scroll here, see the description of the app and what it does and why it's there. Okay, that's BuildBiz.ai, one of our fun platform tools. And by the way, the monthly on that is $19.95. If you do decide to keep it, you don't have to pay anything to test it out. Deploy. So the DRIVE acronym, it's creating your offer, getting a good understanding of, your vision of for what it is that you're going to be, either products, services, or a combination thereof that you're going to be offering. And so we go through a whole set of exercises that get you to that clear vision. And then from there, we take that. What we usually produce from that is called a business brief. That's the first step. And by the way, in the platform, we have a tool called the Big Dream Generator. And the Big Dream Generator will get you to a business brief, 13 questions, you answer the AI, and you'll have a document that you can use in any AI tool, not just here, to kind of build upon. Hey, this is training up the AI on your vision, what pain points you solve, all that kind of fun stuff that you need to know. And so that's really where that kind of shines. The next thing we do is you start working on your channels. What social media channels are you going to be posting in? What content is going to be on your website? Work on your brand, in other words, and your outreach, and just kind of make those decisions. And so we come up with definitions of your target audience, your personas, all the things like that. Implementation is next. We're going to actually put these things into the real world. Either we're going to build AI websites, we're going to build AI apps. We can use AppServer.ai to accomplish this. Or you can, of course, just reach out to us and we can help you design and build your website in a very short period of time. Or if you have an existing website, like Vanessa, who kindly shared it, we can help you, review it and smoothen it out, update it, that type of thing. We're here for you for whatever degree of assistance that you require. Again, thanks for sharing, Vanessa. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek. Actually, you shared two of them. Okay. Let's go ahead and drop one here. I think I saw this one. I think you shared this one with us before. And then the other one is this one here. And boom. Yeah, I've seen you also on ABC, my favorite Tuesday group. We meet every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. So if you are not a member of the Atlanta Black Chamber, definitely should join. It's a fantastic group and you will learn a lot in an hour. Take a look out, search for it, Atlanta Black Chambers with an S, I believe. Right. Let's take a look here. There's reach, then there's implement. That's where you start executing on your plan. And then you have validation where you are succeeding. And so you want to go back, check, see what's working. Validation is the process of that. If you were in the military, there's a term called OODA loop where basically you observe and see, okay, this is working well. Validate is the same thing. Okay, let me go in and make some adjustments. And then once you got it really streamlined, 3, 4 weeks of posting consistently, reaching out via email, calling, however you're doing your marketing and your growth expansion efforts, then you want to expand upon what's working. Okay, those are the things. You have a couple of apps that'll help you get that done. BuildBiz.ai, think of it as the content creation part of it. It'll generate really fantastic products for you. For example, this entire website, all the content and things were generated using BuildBiz.ai, and then AppServer.ai is the hosting entity, and we built the website in AppServer.ai. The video itself was created in BuildBiz.ai.
Imagine creating powerful AI-driven apps without writing.
You can create some really fun things in a very short period of time. This is the idea, and you can build out web applications, mobile applications, crypto projects, all of that within the AppServer.ai. We've got the two platforms. Now let's get back to Create. Where does Create fit in? CreateX fit within Drive AI. The way to think of it is, you're definitely your deployment where you're doing your envisioning, you're creating. Actually, it fits in all the letters, but certainly these are where it's even more important. Your validation and your expansion. You want to use AI. AI never gets tired. It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's the best employee you can hire for $20 a month. And so highly recommend you use it Don't be afraid of it. And by using the create prompting methodology, you have no reason to be afraid of it. Okay. So when we jump in here, let's talk about the original create framework. As I said, we created this back in 2022, 23. It stood the test of time. It works on any AI platform, doesn't matter. You can utilize it. C is context. This is who you're inviting to the conversation. You know, when you're building a prompt, you can tell the AI act as, or you can tell the I want you to be Warren Buffett and we're going to have a conversation about stock markets. I want you to be Steve Jobs. We're going to have a conversation about technology. So you can invite anyone you want that's famous on the internet because AI, by this point, of course, has ingested everything into itself in part of its training models from the internet, and it's always being updated, and it actually learns from you as well, unless you tell it not to. For example, if you're using ChatGPT, you can go set your privacy settings and tell it, don't use my information to train the model. That's an important security thing you just need to be aware of if you do not want AI to follow your entries and conversations and use it to train itself. Okay, that's one quick thing I would point out. And the context is who AI should be in the conversation. Result. Now, I can't stress enough, and we'll show you examples of why your clear, specific definition here is the most important part of the prompt. Well, I mentioned, hey, I want a doctor. Okay, it's going to give me a certain image. Now, if I say, I want a black female doctor in her office doing, you get a much better, precise image of what you're looking for. And then I could go one step further and say something like, her skin tone is hex code, da 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 da. I have a friend who does AI videos. And, you know, she built out a whole hex code for different skin tones so that you can make sure that the person that's being represented in the video is your target. You can say, I want a Latino, I want an Asian, I want, you know, whatever it is that you would like. The AI is very, I say very, very good at creating images. You can do things with lighting. You can get really granular in, and that's what professionals that are creating images and creating videos are doing. They just have very specific module prompts that give them the results that they're looking for and consistency. There's a thing in video and images called consistent character. If you're very thorough with your prompt, you can get exactly what you want and repeat it over and over again. That's what result is about. And it's tied also to explanation. If you're creating something and you want the AI to be focused on this, you want to give it examples, you want to give it background, why you're doing what you're doing. All of those things, you include that in the explanation. And so you're going even further. You can say something generic like, you are a Amazon best-selling author. I want you to help me create a result, which is an outline for a book that I'm creating. And then you can go even further and say, on the benefits of using AI to generate revenue using the Drive AI framework. And then, you know, you can go even steps further and say in that outline of the book, I want this, 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 that, and that. The more you give it, I want you to use specific sources for the content that you're creating for the book. And you go on and on and on. And more specific you are, the better. Same thing with the audience. This is very important. Who is this targeted towards? I write content for targeting to 10th grader or lower because, again, you want to make it accessible to everyone. If you're writing it, this book is for men, this book is for women, this book is for children, this is for my thesis. So, you know, again, now the AI knows where you want it to be in the scale of complexity. You want to keep it fifth grade. Remember that show, Who's Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? You want to keep the content as simple as possible. I am not smarter than a fifth grader because I forgot all that stuff. You do want to keep your content accessible, and you can go the next step and decide on the tone. I want it funny, like in the style of Kevin Hart, or if it's marketing content, you can pick people whose marketing you actually like and model it after them. You don't have to remember the name. Dan Kennedy, I use him all the time because he was an aggressive, old school marketing person. But in today's market, it's a little too aggressive. I tone it down by using a completely unrelated person, Gillian Perkins. She's a YouTuber. I just happen to like the way she presents content. I tell it to blend these two tones together, and it gives me what I want. It's aggressive and persuasive and salesy on one hand, but it's also educational and explanatory on the other. So it kind of combines those on the tone content that I create for a website and marketing and things like that. You can bring three or four people in. There's a style of marketing called a focus group where you can create personas and have conversations between these people discussing your products and services. And you can get very granular about the demographics of each person in that focus group. It's just like you bring 10 people into a room in the chat and have them go at your service or product and give you feedback. AI is a really fun and powerful tool. That's what I meant by you want to ensure that whatever you're working on is extremely specific, and then that way you'll get the best output targeted at your persona. You have to understand their pain, understand the things and challenges that your service or product will help them solve. Okay. People don't buy features, people buy benefits to themselves. What's in it for me? And so you need to be very clear your solution will address that particular concern. And then E for expand, which is that iteration thing where I mentioned working 24 hours a day. It never gets tired. You can literally stay up forever going over things, changing things, reviewing it. It'll give you its first pass. Whatever you ask for, say, hey, I like this bullet. I don't like that bullet. Let's try something different. If it gives you a title for your book, say, that's okay, but that doesn't really jump out at me. So let's tweak that a little. Give me five more in the box and five out of the box ideas for a title for this book. Or be very specific. That doesn't really excite me. Give me more exciting title. And you go around and around as many times as you want. So you can iterate and ideate as with the whatever frequency you can tolerate. We have a prompt that we do all of the time called the interview prompt, and the AI can sit down like a journalist, act as a journalist, and interview you about your vision. Fantastic prompt. It will get you thinking about things you hadn't even thought of. AI will keep questioning you until you tell it, okay, stop, 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 stop. I've been on this for 2 hours now. Let's go to the next step. What's the next step? Oh, we want to create a business brief, that kind of thing. Trust me, the interview process will really pull it out of you what your actual vision is. It'll give you ideas you hadn't thought of. Do that. And if you need those prompts and things, again, reach out to us. My calendar link is on there and my email address is on there. Okay. So tonight we're focused in the create method, and so we're going to take it to the next step. If I take this this prompt right here, and you can pretty much tell where I'm going with this. Go to our buddy ChatGPT and tell it, hey, write a blog post about innovation. Keep this thread separate and do not use any memory. The reason I'm adding that is I'm in here all of the time. If I do things, it's going to effectively reach out to the history of everything that it knows about me and bring in responses based on that. And I don't want it to do that. Okay. But I do want it to write a blog post about innovation, keep this thread separate and do not use any memories. I'm just telling you, hey, I just want you to stay in this thread. Innovation is often, so it's writing stuff, looks good, sounds good. But if you put this on your website as a blog post, it doesn't include you in this conversation. What is it talking about? It's just pulling stuff randomly off the internet and out of its training. And as I said, it's fine, but if you read it as someone visiting a website, it just doesn't have anything to do with me. Let's do this now. Let's create a duplicate thread here so I can, effectively start over. And so I can tell it new chat and I could say something like, Let's grab this second prompt. This is telling it to act as a marketing strategist. We're setting the context. Write a 300-word LinkedIn post about how innovation increases customer loyalty for small business owners. The tone is encouraging and practical. And so it's very, very simple. If we went up here now, we ran that same prompt. Okay. Actually, I could do it this way. Okay, yeah. Let's do it right here. And again, do not use any memory. Keep this thread separate. And I tell it to go for it. Small business owners often think customer loyalty comes from great service alone. Service matters, but today loyalty is increasingly built through innovation. Now it's being more specific. It's targeting small business owners. It's the same conversation as the first prompt, but now it is essentially focused in on your target audience, and then you're giving examples of your technology or whatever the thing you're writing about is about. Why are we different? We're listening and we make things better for you. It's just better content because now it has something to work with. Here's the prompt that I just put in. Again, I'm going to give you this whole thread, so don't worry about taking notes or any of that kind of fun stuff. And just keep in mind that the create method allows you to essentially grasp complex steps and simplify them very quickly. Okay. Again, one prompt, a little simple, too simple. And then the create method prompt is very specific of the type of thing that we're looking for. We want a 300-word LinkedIn post about how innovation increases customer loyalty. Again, you can have the AI write you a blog post about a topic that's related to your organization or your business. What's great about this as well is you can automate this. It does it once a week, twice a week. You can automatically post it up to websites, up to websites, up to what am I trying to say here, Danny? Oh, social media channels. There you go. English, English, very important. Okay. So it can immediately get up to social media channel. These are the types of things that we're talking about is just working through these prompts. And again, you're going to get this whole deck. Again, don't stress on capturing every prompt. Okay. Why is create is not enough anymore. The original create model was built 2, 3 years ago. And what we have to deal with, as I mentioned, AI is continuing to evolve. We're going from chatbots now to AI agents. And so this new agentic age, as they're calling it, requires more specificity. So we need to define, and if you are, for example, our buddy here, ChatGPT, and by the way, I use ChatGPT, you can use any AI tool, it doesn't matter, has a mode here called deep research. And when you click on that, it always does these steps. We designed the Create X model to do that and more. Not only do we tell it what the thinking depth, how hard should the AI reason, we tell it what kinds of controls we want to put around the prompt, and then we always encourage it to stop and ask conditions. Whenever AI encounters something that it doesn't know the answer to and it wants to please you, it will simply make something up. Okay, this is the nature of AI. It's just trying to make it happy. I remember I was doing a bio for a speaking engagement that I had, and I'm just scanning through it, and I'm like, I never did that. It just made up something because it needed a bullet point about this to meet the requirements. I said, man, hey, write me a bio for this speaking engagement. Here's what I'm going to be talking about. And so, because I didn't have that in my bio, it essentially made it up. And so that's called a hallucination. You want to tell it, hey, if you don't know, stop and ask me about something. When it's doing something, you want to say, use these sources. Or if not, if you don't know or you don't have the sources, tell it. Now, Perplexity became famous for research and development as a tool because it always gave you the sources. It told you where it found the information. You didn't have to worry, is this real or not real? Is the AI hallucinating? Really important about that. Another concept that we teach on all of the time is what we call AI super person, super self, AI super self. And what that means is it's a combination of AI tools, AI tools like our frameworks, and you, the human. And what happens is you, the human, are the person that makes the final decision on what's going to be put up on your website. It's really important. You review everything that AI creates, and then you post it once you've confirmed all of the sources and you're happy with it, especially if it's going to impact your brand, especially if you're in a regulated industry like healthcare, real estate, legal, insurance, you name it. If you're in any of those spaces, you are responsible for the accuracy of the content that you're putting up. And you have to make sure it fits within those regulated areas. For example, in the state of Georgia, you can't put up real estate claims. I'll sell your house in 3 minutes, or I'll make you this much money as an attorney with your claim. You can't say things like that. Okay, that is where these parameters and controls keep you out of trouble. If I'm doing a prompt with the create X method, it adds, hey, here's how much time I want you to spend on this. I want a fast answer, or I want you to slow down, take your time, be highly accurate in your response. Proactively, again, if it's an agent, you tell it, hey, go off and do whatever. No, 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 no. Hey, you can do whatever up until this point. Don't actually buy it. I want you to go find it, price out, do a price matrix, do all the comparisons, find the videos that I can watch on the product. But when it comes time to push the button to buy it, you can bring it back to me as the human. I push the button to buy it. And the same thing with the stop and ask conditions. If you are going off to do things, I want you to stop at this point if you have any questions. Okay, just don't make stuff up. Let's say we're going to create a new prompt around this concept. And so we're going to fully define the role in the audience, act as. Here's my goal. Here are the constraints around that goal. Before we get started, restate the goal back to me, provide a 2 or 3 micro plan before executing, right? Before you go off and do things, think about it, put together a plan, run the plan by me. And then the same thing goes with the X controls. How much and how long do I want you to think about it? And then all of the other parameters, and then execute. So you're going to put that all together into something. The prompt might look like this. Act as a small business strategist for a local service provider. Goal, clarify the core offer and ideal client constraints, and so on and so forth. If we go back to one of our websites here, I don't believe I did anything on this website last time. Let's go ahead and do this one. I think this will be fun. I have a prompt whenever I'm looking at a website and I want to collect information about it, just put in the chat. It's my AEO prompt. Obviously, replace the URL with your name. And so if I go here and I create a new chat and I drop that prompt in, let's do this here. Hold on. There we go. All right, it's going to do that. And then we're going to get the domain name. Okay. And I'm going to grab that domain name. Obviously, replace the one that is here with your domain and tell it to go and review it. I'm going to do this for just a second. Oh, I'm going to pause the video for just a second. All right, we are rocking and rolling already. Yeah, I can be very quick. It took a quick look at your website, and it is, I like this, target audience inferred, meaning that it wasn't quite sure. It wanted to be politically correct. Natural hair consumers, Black women with thick curly hair, professional art stylists, and beauty entrepreneurs. All right, so the problem that it solves, however, the website. Wow, that's a little brutal. That's a little mean. The website currently reads more like a memoir landing pages than a product sales page. AI can be mean sometimes. What it's saying is, because of the content that is on there, it doesn't sound like a sales funnel, active sales funnel. It sounds like a historical review of the creation of it and things like that. It's just giving you its feedback. By the way, the other thing that I want to point out, this is really important. AI, first of all, does not look at pictures. Okay. It only looks at the text, the content, the metadata. There's two files on every there's one file on every website called robots.txt, and it looks at that file for data and things that it wants. And if your website is what we call AEO friendly, that is AI engine optimized, it will use that file as well as llm.txt or llms.txt, and it will use that file to answer its own questions about you. And I'll show you how that works in just a second. That's the difference. That's what it's going to be doing. It tells you what the site does very well: authentic founder story. This establishes you with authority. It tells you clear problem identification, cultural resonance, and unique product concept. All very highly important and very big pluses. Weak product presentation, no optimized sales funnel. Now, the other thing I want to point out to you is it is only looking at one link at a time. When you do this prompt, please remember you have to go ahead and give it all of the URLs so it can kind of walk through it. Okay, it's just saying that the trust factor is very high. You can tell that this is someone who cares, that kind of thing. But again, you need to update it towards where we are in 2026. Okay. Estimated conversion potential, meaning you're not going to sell a lot from this website. This is just information and it doesn't have a lot of sales functionality built into it. What it's telling you, you need to create a hero section. You can really shine here by creating something that pops immediately, and the headline, and then the subheadline, possible ones. And then I would ask the AI to iterate, give me multiple ones on this. Homepage funnel. But saying if you don't want to change the homepage, create a whole nother page to be a sales funnel. I do tell my customers all the time, when I come from your social media and I land, I don't want to know about the founder. I want to know about the thing that I came here for, meaning the Kink Tamer. I want to be just talking about that on that page. That is a very simple way, and it's very easy to do. I would highly recommend that you create that. Okay, anyway, this is just kind of walking through and it's telling you section by section what you should add. And yes, I will give you this review doc here. Then it gets into AI engine optimization, answer engine optimization, GEO, generative AI optimization, you call it whatever you want. And so it's going to walk through this step by step and tell you the things that you should do to improve conversion. Social media strategy, paid ad strategy, all from a simple prompt. I love that prompt. It's highly effective. Okay. So if this were my client, 5 immediate fixes I would do. I add video demonstrations. If you have a YouTube channel, link to those videos. That's the best way to share video, or Vimeo, or any of the other ones. So anyway, we could get into it says, hey, we can do this next. Let's talk about that. That's what it could do. The other thing that you could do, you can get into the personas. There's a whole process that we kind of walk through when we do these prompts. Act as a small business strategist for local service provider, clarify their offer and goal, constraints, 150 words max. Before starting, restate goal. This is the actual prompt, okay, for Create X. This is not really the prompt for Kink Tamer's rewrite, but I'm going to use it as an example anyway, and we'll edit it on the fly. For a local beauty shop, I'll just tell it, hey, look, for this business, clarify their core offer and ideal client, 150 word max. Before starting, restate the goal, think about it medium, confirm, stop and ask if it is unclear. I'm just going to modify that prompt on the fly so that it is going to give me what I need. That's why I said I love using real world examples instead of theoretical. There you go. There's the prompt for that one. And it's telling me, hey, I want to say, this is what you want. You want me to identify the primary product and problem it solves, identify the main benefit. And, oh, yep, this is all good. And then it's giving me secondary things. And I would say, yep, and go. You can go ahead and do that. But now it's going to refine what's up there right now. Talk about the persona, your target client, and customer and secondary market. A powerful secondary market is professional hairstylists and their natural hair salons. And that's her here. She does Sisterlocks. And so that's her website. If you're on the west side of Atlanta and you know anybody who needs Sisterlocks, I'm gonna make sure talk up my wife. One of her many talents. So anyway, and by the way, this whole website was built within the BuildBiz.ai platform. You can build some pretty nice looking websites within the platform very easily. And again, we can do the work for you if you're not comfortable building websites. But imagine, just to give you an example, experience the beauty of Sisterlocks and Microlocks. We specialize in Sisterlocks, blah, 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 blah. This is not a complicated website by any stretch of the imagination. But when you land on this page, you immediately know what this business is about. You know why you should be interested and keep scrolling down and book a consultation. It's got lots of benefit statement. It's a super simple flyer. It's just a simple flyer page. So it's not complicated. Compared that to this. This is what we mean by just simply boosting the immediate impact of the page so that you still need all this other data on here, but the page that people are coming to for a beauty product, you want to immediately set the tone in the visual. The AI doesn't care about that, but for the visual, it's important. Okay, that was how the prompt created and updated the content for the website, strategic positioning, the blow dryers designed specifically for textured hair, simple things that clearly state why they should be interested. Now it's saying, hey, I can create 3 more extremely strategic improvements that could easily double sales by the end of the products. Again, that's very hyperbolic and it's pushing it a little bit, but that's okay. Point is, you take it 1 times 1 equal, in other words, 1 plus 1 equal 2, 2 times, you can immediately start improving the number of sales that you get by simple things. That's really what its point was. And if we go on from there, it's going to give you the idea you can build more. And this is a cleaning company example. And I have a cleaning company that I do things for. This one, I built an app for them. This is in the dashboard. This is the last time I was in here. And I created this app, by the way. You can install this app on your computer or on your phone, and you can see book a trusted cleaner on the Treasure Coast in 60 seconds. That's my atomic offer, my Godfather offer. And you're like, oh, man, that's fast. I can get my home clean for $19. Yes. All right. Here's a video on how to do it. Book my cleaning, start my $19 clean. Again, short to the point right away. That's what you want on any website. You just want to have that on your website. Okay, so I think you get the idea. The validation prompt. So I'm jumping from D, R, and I to V as an example of what you can do. And so act as a business performer advisor. And in this case, we're going to take a look at this website and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to drop this prompt. And again, I'm going to give you the whole thing. Don't worry. Act as a business performance advisor. Goal, identify what marketing efforts are working, website traffic. We can't really do this prompt in reality because we don't have the data here. But the idea is if you did have the data, like so, for example, when I build a website for someone, I have analytics going on in the back of the website. So I know how many people came to the website, how many people clicked on the buttons to convert into a sale. I have all of that data, and you would feed that data into here. I'm not going to do this example only because we do not have the data and we only have 10 minutes left. I don't want to spend time making up stuff to fix it now, but it's a great prompt, okay? And so very quickly, it takes out the ego and it just gives you the facts. Here's what we've been doing, here's what's working, here's what's not working, and here's where we should focus our money if we're doing paid ads, here's where we should focus our time and effort if we're doing manual social media posting, or bring in an automation tool to do that social media posting for you automatically. I'm actually in the process right now. I'm doing an app for my customers because they've been asking me for this, where I have Drive.ai, and it's going to be an automation tool. And so from manual AI to powered market, AI powered marketing. So build your army of AI agents that never clock out. And I thought that was pretty good. I did a class earlier today And AI was saying, that's pretty good. But you know what you need to do? Instead of saying Drive AI builds, manages, and publishes your marketing campaigns, you need to be more specific. Who are your customers? They wanted me to add, instead of this kind of vague thing, which is still good, but it's vague, manage and publishes your marketing campaigns automatically, and then go here. Built for small and medium sized businesses, built for real estate, built for, whatever my target audience for my recent marketing campaign. Be specific. Regulated industries, things that I can go here and immediately see that this is going to help my business. This is the problem. Marketing shouldn't be this hard. This is a conversation you are having with your website visitor. They don't have to guess why they're here. Meet your AI marketing agency. I have agents that will do marketing for you, campaigns for you, compliance. If you're in a regulated space, it'll do auto social posting. It'll analyze, do analytics, and it uses the CreateX framework. So 5 steps to marketing autopilot. It's giving that messaging. And what's going to be fun about it, I think, for my customers is that I talk all of this stuff all of the time. Now they can throw it in there and be able to use it on a daily basis. And so this is where it's going to be really, really cool. And so once they get into the dashboard, they don't want to log in and actually bring it up in full size, but you can see the dashboard, you can create your marketing plans, you can talk to the agents. This strategy agent is really like that business brief creator that I have in the other tool. You'll have your campaigns, your leads, content library, email templates, Teams newsletter. I happen to be the chairman of the tech committee for Empire Board of Realtors, and we're actually doing a newsletter. And so it's going to allow you to submit, and I created this just for that purpose. And you can submit your submissions from all the different committees, and the AI will assemble it into a newsletter. And then that newsletter can be sent out not only to your website, but also to all of your social media, and it'll be automated that it runs out. After you've approved it, of course. It doesn't do it. Again, you have to limit agents on what they can actually do. They can't push the button to put it on the website or push the button to put it on social media. The human in the loop has to make that decision and do that. I show you all of this to say this is coming soon. We're working on this right now. This is where this fun stuff is going. And so this is the type of a prompt that will lead to that kind of an app. That was my point of showing you that. Why validation changes everything. It tells you if you're doing things, spending money on things that doesn't work. You want to test it, make sure everything is right, and fix everything. And then instead of worrying about how many clicks you get, worry about how many clicks convert. That's a much better metrics to be testing. You don't want to be just throwing money out on Google Ads and things like that. Okay. Create an AI app for small business owners that take it. So it's telling me the next thing I can do is actually just go ahead and create an app. What I can do is a couple of things. Let's do some fun stuff. Instead of this vague prompt, I'm going to do a couple of things. I'll say something like, using the information above and from the website, and the focus in on the target audience. I want you to create a 90-second VSL for me. Make the tone exciting, culturally significant, honoring the creator of the tool, and reaching out to new and young customers that fit within the persona that we're targeting. Now, this tool that I'm using is called VoiceIn. You can use it in Chrome. It's a pretty cool tool. Again, this is a simple prompt, but I didn't have to set who are you. I could say you are a world-class ad creator for, women beauty products and all of that. So I'm telling it, hey, you ever had a blow dryer comb pop off in the middle of doing your hair? Immediately, it sets that vision. Any woman who has, kinky hair or tightly curled hair has had that. You're trying to blow dry, and it pops right out, right? This is the thing that, you're targeting your audience. It knows your audience. I would grab something like that, and I would take it to a tool. You can use HeyGen, but I have one of my favorite tools that are in the platform I use almost daily for creating videos. These types of videos, by the way, are called UGC or user generated content. There's two video tools in here. One is called AI Spokesperson, and that is really cool because you can create a video from the perspective of a human and have a model and have the AI move that model's lips and things like that. I'll show you that in a second. But anyway, let's create this video quickly. We're almost, yep, we got like literally 1 minute. It's going to take more than 1 minute to do it. You go into advanced settings, you can pick a voice. You're not going to use Adam, but you can use any voice you like. I use Sarah all the time. You can upload your own music. I recommend it. There is music creator tool in the platform, and then you would go back. I don't believe this has a brand color. Let's see what the homepage is. It's like actually like a little reddish color, I believe, on some of the pages. Anyway, you would pick your brand color and associate it. This is just a quick test here. We don't need to be too crazy. And then you can pick number of slides, for example. So if I pick 12, that runs for a minute. You can pick the portrait or landscape, and that's it. You don't have to. And I would actually read this first. Before you, again, human in the loop, it's your job to read the script before you tell the AI to go build it. Same thing with, I would say something like, we would get a lot more data, by the way. I wouldn't want to just be this casual about this whole thing, but we can certainly do a quick web page mock-up and I can tell it to use one of my other favorite prompts. And again, I'm going to give you this whole thread, so don't worry. I'm not going to worry about colors. You can give it colors, and so the target market. So I'm going to say make website attractive to the target audience. All right. And so I tell the AI, here's my target audience. I want you to kind of do it. I'm telling it, hey, build me out a quick prompt that I can feed to a vibe coder that will basically design this website. And the product, yep, Kink Tamer Beauty Experience Platform. I like that name. And so it's building out this prompt for me, super simple. And by the way, you can do all of this in slow motion. I'm doing this very quickly because we're running out of time. When we get done with this, we'll have a pretty decent landing page that we can show the founder here. So I'm just going to grab this. I am truly going to do this super quick version of this. Okay. So if I go back here, dashboard, and we're going to do a quick new project. And I'm going to take out this bottom part here. This is why we call it AI app in 1 hour. And so we're going to build it out. We're just going to call it Kink Tamer. It's going to be Kink Tamer. And then it'll be Kink Tamer Beauty Experience Platform. Always turn off this public part until you're ready to show it. Always start with a website. You can always do a mobile app later and so on and so forth. You want to make this as easy as possible. You can build it. I'm going to build it in Famous, which is my project. My app server is a white label within Famous. If you want to build your own, I highly recommend you go to AppServer.ai. And the reason why is because these examples that I have in here are already built into the platform. So you don't have to start from scratch. Okay. So it is AppServer.ai is a white label of Famous.ai, in case you were kind of confused by the name changes. Anyway, let's keep going and building here. And so we have this prompt in here now. And by the way, your prompt doesn't have to be this long and complicated. But again, we've been doing this a lot. So let's go ahead and run it. And it's going to start building. This is an agent. And so what this is going to do is take the prompt that I've given it and just go to town. And I've told it what I want it to do. I've given it the instruction set. I want it to build a modern beauty brand website called Kink Tamer. And it's giving the details of it from what it grabbed from the website. Again, it's not as complete as I would give it but it's good enough to go ahead and start working. And as the agent goes, it'll tell you what it's doing. I'm investigating the requirements. I'm scanning for required secrets, things like that, that you have no idea what it's talking about, but you can let it run. We'll let that build. It's going to take a good 10 minutes or so, maybe a little less, because we're only doing a website. We're not doing like an app, with detailed levels. Why does this matter for small and medium-sized enterprises? This is important because you want to validate, create repeatable systems, clear offers, and predictable output. That means you're going to make money consistently because your offers are clean and clear. Expansion strategy. Now, as an entrepreneur, you can get burned out doing this marketing stuff and just trying to build your business. You can use AI as your bestest buddy, and you can use prompts like these, like act as a growth strategist for a service-based SME, identify 3 ways to expand without increasing workload, constraints, things like that. You could run this prompt after you run the other. Again, that first prompt I gave you, you should run once a quarter just to test out things that are working, not working, that kind of thing. Act as a growth strategist for this business. All right. Identify 3 ways to expand without increasing workload. Now, this would be great after the validation because if we did the validation prompt, which we did not, it would know more about what's working and what's not working. Focus on automation, content reuse, AI leverage. We'll tell it to go light on the reasoning because we're in a hurry. Confirm, stop and ask if the revenue model is unclear. And that's the prompt. Super simple prompt, just following that create X methodology. And so we can turn one video into 20 pieces of content. I built that concept around an app that I built for another customer. These websites have not been launched yet, so I'm still using aliases. Oh, there we go. This one here. And so this website is really cool. App is really cool. It's built around the concept of you feed it a very long, complicated video, and it will slice it up, vertical clips, landscape clips. It's kind of like what people use CapCut for, but I'll show you the difference. It basically will take a large file and create little clips from that file. You have the whole video, and then it'll automatically create clips that you can use in lots of different ways. It'll pull out the tags, and then you can generate those clips. And then each clip it will go into your clip library. So you have all these clips and you can use them in lots of different ways. In collections, you can throw them into social media, throw them up on your YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. If you're doing the latter, you should use vertical clips. It'll automatically convert landscape to vertical so they can put them up there. Then you go in and you schedule them and it'll post them automatically on those dates and times that you tell it to post it. You also have the reverse where you can take all the clips and you can assemble them into a mini doc, and then you can post that mini doc. So you can find just the important parts of your video, exciting parts of your video, and put them out there in social media. This is what this tool does for the customer. And then from there, you can archive them and manage them and so on and so forth. But this is a very cool tool. And that is built into, we built that for this organization, but it will be available to the general public as well. So turn one video into 20 pieces of content. That's what it's trying to say. And that's what those shorts and reels are for. Automated stylist affiliate program. Create an affiliate program. AI Hair Education Hub. You can, actually should be AEO and SEO traffic machine, where you're just putting out content and teaching and teaching and teaching. And then you do partnerships, affiliations. You partner with people who are in the hair industry, Bronner Brothers, whoever, that kind of thing. Let's see how it's going. All right, we can tell it's telling us that you would want to create your own Stripe account, your payment gateway, for example. And I'm just going to throw in this fake one right now. I'm going to reuse a Stripe payment gateway. Obviously, for every business, you're going to want to have your own payment gateway account. Okay. So this is what it's doing and building. And it's going through step by step. It is creating, I'll build a stunning, culturally resonant beauty platform. Here's what's funny about it making that statement, because again, I wasn't specific with it. I told it that the target audience is Black women. 50-50 on whether everybody on here will be Black women. It's just one of those things with AI. You have to be very specific. I didn't say that in there, but hopefully we'll cross our fingers because otherwise, again, you're going to get white guys with a beard. So the color palette, it's telling you what is building in the color. This is your agent. It's working for you. It's telling you the core functionality. I'm going to do comprehensive homepage with 8 distinct sections, cinematic. There you go. It's starting to build out the website. Now, we don't have actual product shots. That is also something that you can do, is you can feed the AI actual product shots of the Kink Tamer. In this case, it's making stuff up. It's generating its own images, which is fine because we can easily replace them. We can take that image that is generated and say replace these fictitious generated content with the Kink Tamer. You'd have photos nicely done. Once you've done one, you can easily, there's an app in here. I'm going to show you. It's really, really cool. Whoa, what is it called? Precision Image Model. Okay. And this is a really cool app. And what you can do is you can create consistent characters, meaning people, or you can create consistent characters that are products. Once you have a good shot of the tool itself, you could take a shot of it on a dresser and a home. You can then tell it, put that same image, the same item on my beauty station, put that same image in the hand of this model. And you can tell it that, and it'll automatically generate those images to wherever you want. That's the precision image model. And the other one you can use is AI Spokesperson. For example, you can have someone here hold the item, and the AI will create with a script that whole conversation. For example, let's see. I like some of these here. There you go. This is one. This was created just from a photo.
You call yourself a CEO, but you don't even know your AIQ score. Me? I already know mine. I run things at Recess and in the metaverse. Take the quiz. Beat my score if you can.
Is Stripe better than Square? It's more popular. It's more flexible when it comes to integrating with websites, but Square is extremely popular as well. And especially if you have physical locations for your stores, I think Square would win there. It just depends. You have physical POS or point of sale systems. Square would win in the hardware side of it, and Stripe would win in just general website integrations. And you have plenty of images. We could definitely get that going on the website. Oh, it's almost there. It's building too many images. It's doing a really good job. I like it. You got the professional woman standing there. You have lots of shots of women with kinky hair, as they say, and it's kind of walking through. So everything other than the product shots will be, I think, pretty good. This thing is really running and building a complete website. I should have said build a sample version. It's actually building a full website. So that's why it's going so slowly. All right. So what can we do in the interim? I can certainly answer questions for you. Your video should be done by now. Let me go back. Hopefully I didn't lose it. Sometimes you really want to stay on your page. All right, there it is. Let's take a look at what it created quickly here.
Ever had a blow dryer comb pop off right in the middle of your hair? You're halfway through a section, it slips, you stop, reattach, and start all over again. For decades, women with thick, curly, and natural hair have had to fight tools that weren't designed for them. One stylist finally said enough. After years behind the chair, she saw broken attachments, frustrated clients, and precious minutes lost. She created the Kink Tamer, the first blow dryer with a permanently integrated comb engineered for thick, curly, and natural hair. No slipping attachments, no stopping mid-style, no fighting your dryer. Just powerful heat, smooth detangling, and faster styling from one tool that actually works with your hair. This isn't another beauty gadget. It's a solution born from experience culture and everyday textured hair care. Whether you are learning your natural at home or a pro working client after client, Kink Tamer is built for you. The Kink Tamer offers a smarter way to blow dry a better tool for textured hair.
The obvious thing that you would do, and this is where the tool really shines, is for each image, you would simply generate a new one, or by hitting this button here, regenerate, or upload one that you already have. Obviously, because this is a product video, you would use your own products. And so you would upload an image of the Kink Tamer right here to this spot. For example, if we go back to your website, let's see, shipping and returns. There we go. We would grab this right here. I'm just going to give you an example. We'll just use this right here for our shot. And you would obviously have plenty of these. You would grab all of these and replace all of the fake ones with these. And this is what we should have fed to the AI tool. And then you have really good images. You would download each one of these images and replace the fake ones that is generated just that easily. And so, for example, if I went back into it now, I would upload the images that I would like to use. Something like that one. We'll start with that one. You'll see what I mean. You can use any of them. All right. So you could take these two, for example, and Control C, and we'll do that. We'll combine that into, because the AI will read whatever you give it. Okay. And then you can just grab an image here. Don't use the black one. Okay, I got it. We won't use the black one. Anyway, you can grab, I'm not really creating a real video for you, by the way. We can get together and work on creating a real video. I just wanted to show examples for people. Okay, so we have where was I? I got distracted. Oh, yeah, I was building this here. This is where we do want a image, right, of the creator, so on, right, when we're talking about it. And so we go right here. And so we have the founder circle. This is really good. I like that one. We can use either one. It doesn't really matter. As a matter of fact, you would use more than one. And so we would get some more of these here. And we would use these images throughout the video, is my point. You do have a blog, 24th. Oh, that's a nice picture right there. I like that picture. So anyway, sorry, I'm distracted. Let's get back to it and finish this up. We would basically upload the image, okay, whichever one you want to use. It doesn't really matter. For this sample, we're just creating it quickly. And you can see, right, how exciting this is as you build it out. And we would have real examples, real product shots, and you would go all the way through this. We would tell AI to replace this fake dryer with your real product, of course, and she could still be holding it. That's the beauty of AI. I can tell it to replace that fake dryer with and there's actually a tool. So I'm just going to regenerate it the way it is. But there's a tool in the BuildBiz platform. It's called Magic AI or something like that. And you can tell it, hey, replace this with this, that kind of thing. This is where you can do that. I'll let that run. The real thing I wanted to point out is the power of AI in this process. This is your bestest buddy. It can create a lot of really good things. I'll send you this link after it's done so you can kind of see it. But this is just the AI's first pass, and then we would put the human in the loop, and you and I would sit down and actually work on this. I'm gonna give you my contact information again, and I will give you this video. It's not gonna be complete, obviously. It's just gonna be like a updated version of what we just did. I'll pause here. Does anyone else have any questions? But this is why I like to use a real example, because you can build out some really cool things with AI in an hour and 20 minutes. All right, so it's done with this second iteration, by the way.
Ever had a blow dryer comb pop off right in the middle of your hair? You're halfway through a section, it slips, you stop, reattach, and start all over again. For decades, women with thick, curly, and natural hair have had to fight tools that weren't designed for them. One stylist finally said, enough. After years behind the chair, she saw broken attachments, frustrated clients.
Love it. It came out pretty good, even though we only spent a few minutes on it. Let me drop the link to that pre-production one here. I'll download it to my system and drop it in there. And I think you really did get the idea from just a few minutes or an hour of work here. We came from a plain text page to what I expect to be a really, really fun page. I'll send out the link to the complete video. Let me share the ChatGPT thread and copy the link. So there we go. That's the ChatGPT thread with all of the question and answers that we did for the hour. And you got the presentation. Nope, I'll give you that right now. What's really important is the update to the Create X model really does allow you to take that Drive.ai training and really go to town with it. And so CreateX is really perfect for that purpose. I'll give you this one as well. I created the PDF. There we go. I'll drop that PDF in the chat. All right, perfect. I think we accomplished our goal tonight, everyone. We did pretty well. The only thing we didn't do is show the final AI project here. We started a little bit behind, a little bit late on this. I should have pushed a little faster, but we know it's going to be pretty good, even if it's not 100%. We know that we will be going from, again, a primarily text page to something exciting that's going to be attractive to your target audience. I will share this in the replay. There's a replay link as well, and I will make sure that I stay right here until it's done. And so you'll be able to see it in the video and you'll get the link to the replay. And we will speak again. We will continue to build out. I really had a good time tonight, and I hope everybody did as well. I would say we got another 5 minutes or so before this thing is finished producing what it wants to produce. And again, I will make sure that I don't go anywhere until it's finished doing it so that we can all see the thing. If anybody who needs to drop off, please go ahead and drop off. I'm not going anywhere because I do want to record the look and feel of what it produced. I think it's important. I'm going to be right here, but if you have to go, I completely understand. All right, let me share my screen again. So when it does finally pop up, whoever hangs around with us will see it. And everybody else, you'll see it in the replay. All right, hold on just a second. Perfect. If anybody else has a question, you guys have been really quiet tonight. All right, okay. Everybody, if you have a question, send me an email. I'm happy to answer those questions for you. And let me just go back here because I do want to give everybody who is staying the end of this. One of the things that we talked about is this depth. You have this depth of thinking. This is really critical to how much time you want the AI to focus on your particular task. The proactivity level, who's in the driver's seat? The human should always be in control. There may become a day where AI is AGI or it's truly autonomous and it knows how to do all these things by itself. But for now, the human has to be in control, make sure everything is accurate. And so this is where that human in the loop, and you use confirm, especially if you're in a regulated space, and make sure that everything that it produces is really consistent with your brand, your vision. If you're for example, if you're a ministry and you're teaching the word, you want that to be very, very carefully monitored and controlled. We have a class on Saturday where we're teaching nonprofits, and this is every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, and it focuses on governance, good ethical AI. And so we have a class. There is no charge for the class this weekend as part of this training. It's a good, you can jump on, and there's pre-recordings of the previous weeks. Don't worry about it if you missed something. You can jump right in and get going. Let me grab the link for Zoom. Give me one moment. Here we go. Give me my webinars. Saturday. Here it is. Finally. 11 a.m. Eastern. All right. Here is the link. And Control C. And there we go. That's the link for Saturday. And feel free to come by if you have the time. And we will be continuing with this is for, again, governed AI We do a whole series on protecting your organization from liabilities, not so much liabilities, but from getting yourself into trouble. And we'll be doing some examples this week, specifically on governed and ungoverned data. And so we spend a lot of time on that. Oh man, it's knocking this down. So it's telling you what it's doing. Okay, so there was why it took a minute. It's reading through all of this stuff. It went through, it created all these different sections. This is going to be a mega build when it's done here. And so by creating all those images and things, it took a little second, but not bad. So yeah, so we need, like I said, that product shot. And so we would replace this fake image with a real image of the product, but I think you get the feel and it picked a color scheme, by the way. We didn't tell it what color scheme that we wanted, but you can see immediately the concept of a store, if you will, where someone can see your product and feel it from the first time they hit that website, immediately sets the image that you were looking for. Why blow drying natural hair has always been frustrating, sets the problem. I love it. These are great product shots, not the real product, but this is what we want on your page. Designed with your hair in place, created by somebody who understands. We put the image right there of the founder and loved by the community. Never ever use fake testimonials. Obviously, we would spend a little time and get your real testimonials and put those up there. And then from there, it's going to get some technical stuff. We're going to get some exactly why it is successful. I love these. Oh, so then it's giving you different, it also built an e-commerce store for us. This is an actual e-commerce store. So if we wanted to sell things, we could. And so we built this in an hour and a half. It's 8:31, so we're right on track as far as the time of this thing. I built that in an hour and a half. The color scheme is not correct, but we didn't tell it what color scheme we wanted. We would run this exact same prompt, but we would give it images that it can use, would give it color schemes that it can use. But hopefully you get the idea of what we can produce in an hour and a half, and then we would build the rest of it as we go along. Absolutely love it as a starting point. And this, you could easily say, okay, Danny, I don't like this, change that. I like that, change that, keep that type of thing. But you have now an actual, I love this. You can shop all the products. You can shop for just these things, the blow dryers. Oh, it's really great how it works. Hair care tips. It's creating all kinds of fun sections here. But these are the types of things that the AI will find. And for AEO, these areas are really fantastic. And it would build all this out. This is a complete website. It really did do a really good job. You can see here, here's a bug. Kink Tamer, the K-I-N-K is white on a light color. You can't read it. I could easily fix that. And so just little things like that. But all in all, not a bad first pass. All right, everyone. Make sure I have your information. Yep, I'll give it again. No problem. Just jump on my calendar or send me an email and we'll get together from there. All right, it was a pleasure tonight, everyone. I'm glad. Thank you for sticking with me, whoever stayed on a little bit later, but we accomplished what we wanted to do. AI app in 1 hour. Okay. All right, everyone. I will see you later. Have a fantastic rest of the week.